Okay, picture this. Ancient mythological cave temples. 70, yes, 70 stomach-turning mountain hairpin bends, and a massive, booming lorry-building industry. Have you ever wondered if it's possible for all of those things to exist in the exact same place? I know, it sounds like the premise of a bizarre fever dream, just mashing three entirely different worlds together. But what if I told you that these wildly contrasting elements all belong to the exact same district? Welcome to today's Explainer. We're heading off the beaten path today to uncover a truly multidimensional destination, Namakkal. Located right in the central part of Tamil Nadu, this district is this fascinating puzzle where profound ancient history and quiet, serene nature somehow perfectly coexist with heavy modern industrial might. It's a brilliant reminder of just how complex our local geographies can actually be, and we're going to unpack its dual identities right now. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First up, we'll look at the myths of the Rock Fort. Then we ascend the Kali Hills. And finally, we'll hit the ground to explore the Egg and Transport City. Part 1. Myths of the Rock Fort, the Ancient Center. Let's start by grounding ourselves right in the middle of the historic plains of Namakkal town. The very first thing you're going to notice, because, well, you literally can't miss it, is the physical geography. There is a massive rock formation rising a staggering 250 feet straight up right in the center of the city. It's just this single towering rock dominating the entire skyline, and it sets the stage for an absolutely fascinating local legend. And of course, a rock that big has an incredible backstory. The mythology here is super visual and deeply revered. The story goes that Lord Hanuman was carrying a sacred salagrama rock. He sets the rock down near the Kamalayam tank so he could take a holy bath and chant the Gayatri mantra. But get this, when he comes back, he's totally stunned to find that the stone had miraculously morphed and grown into a gigantic mountain. And it was right here that Lord Narasimha appeared in a ferocious mood alongside goddess Namagiri Thyre. And you can actually see this myth reflected in the temple's architecture today. Right there, facing east toward that mountain, stands an absolutely magnificent 18-foot colossal idol of Lord Hanuman, carved entirely from stone. Just try to visualize that scale for a second. 18 feet. He is depicted standing with folded hands, eternally worshipping Sri Lakshmi Narasimha. It is an awe-inspiring detail that really brings this ancient myth to life for the thousands of devotees who visit. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the actual physical history of the fort layers right over that ancient myth. Starting way back in the 7th century, the cave sculptures were originally engraved by the Adiyaman rulers of Kangu. Fast forward to the 16th century, and Ramachandra Nayaka officially builds the rock fort itself. Then things get strategic. In the 18th century, the famous Tipu Sultan captures the fort. He actually used its walls to monitor and attack British forces, even carving these small holes into the ramparts for his troops to fire from. But honestly, my favorite historical footnote here is what happened after Tipu Sultan took over. He completely left the existing Hindu Varadaraja Perumal temple untouched. Didn't touch it. Instead, he built an Islamic dargah right next to it, and that remains today. Special pujas are held in the temple, and every single Friday, Muslims offer prayers at the dargah. It perfectly illustrates this lasting, beautiful symbol of religious unity, sharing the exact same space. Moving on to part 2, exploring the Kali Hills, the ascent. Okay, we are leaving the historic plains of the city center and moving up into some seriously challenging mountain terrain. And you might want to pack some motion sickness pills for this part. To reach our next destination, you have to navigate exactly 70 continuous hairpin curves. 70! It requires a very firm grip on the steering wheel, for sure. But these breathtaking, treacherous bends are basically a thrilling rite of passage to reach the summit. Once you finally conquer those 70 bends, you find yourself 1,300 meters above sea level, literally up in the clouds. You've arrived at the Kali Hills, which is part of the Eastern Ghats. And what's truly amazing here is that, unlike a lot of heavy tourist hotspots, this landscape remains relatively serene and untouched. Historically, this pristine, highly elevated area was ruled by prehistoric Malayali tribals and the legendary king Valvil Ori. Now, if you're building out a travel itinerary, the Kali Hills has some incredible quick stops. You've got the ancient Arapaliswara Temple, originally a retreat for Jain monks. Then you have the Siddhar Caves, which are so tiny that only one or two people can squeeze inside. These are believed to be the home of ancient sages who practiced medicine centuries ago. For nature lovers, there is a beautiful botanical garden, and this is a fun one, a government-run pineapple research farm where you can grab some incredibly fresh, tasty fruit. So the crucial point here is, if you want to see the true crown jewel of the Koli Hills, you have to be ready to sweat. You have to climb down exactly 1,302 steep steps. It takes about 30 minutes to get down and a genuinely grueling hour to drag yourself back up. Your calves are absolutely going to be screaming at you the next day. But luckily, there are rest spots along the way where locals sell packaged water and these amazing fresh soups made out of local mountain herbs to keep you moving. And the magnificent reward waiting for you at the bottom of those steps, it makes every single drop of sweat worth it. You reach the Ogaya Gangai Falls, which beautifully translates to the Ganges from the sky. This stunning waterfall cascades down the mountain right opposite the ancient Arapaliswara Temple. It's an incredibly serene, powerful, and deeply moving natural spectacle. All right, part 3, the Egg and Transport City, Modern Industry. And this brilliantly illustrates our transition right here. We are pulling right out of that quiet, prehistoric nature and straight into reality with the official MSME economic profile for the district. Yep, we are officially swapping ancient myths and cascading waterfalls for hard, bustling government economic data. So, according to that economic data, Namakkal is officially recognized as Transport City. It is this uniquely massive hub featuring over 150 lorry bodybuilding workshops that have been operating and expanding since the 1960s. The sheer scale of heavy manufacturing happening here is genuinely staggering. I mean, they don't just build basic trucks. They manufacture heavy lorries, massive 18-wheel trailers, and specialized LPG tanker fleets that literally drive the logistics of the entire country. It is amazing that a place with isolated ancient cave temples is quietly churning out this kind of massive industrial might. But the industrial surprises don't stop at heavy trucking. Namakkal actually holds another completely different title, Egg City. Heavy trucking and eggs? It is a wildly unexpected pairing, right? But believe it or not, this district stands as the major producer of poultry and eggs in the entire southern region of India. It is a massive agricultural powerhouse that forms the other major pillar of this district's modern economic identity. Let's step back and see how this builds a complete picture of the district. It is basically a masterclass in contrasts. On one hand, you have the ancient and natural Namakkal, 7th century cave temples, giant statues born of Hanuman mythology, and the pristine 1,300-meter-high Kali Hills. But perfectly balanced against that, you have the modern and industrial Namakkal, a district defined by the heavy lifting of lorry bodybuilding, massive-scale poultry production, and the nonstop hustle of Transport City. So what does this all mean? Well, it leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to close our explainer today. How many other hidden destinations out there manage to balance such deep prehistoric heritage and untouched nature with such a surprising heavy modern industrial might? Namakkal's dual identity is just a powerful testament to how beautifully complex our world really is. I hope this look at Namakkal has sparked your curiosity to go discover more hidden travel gems that completely defy a single definition. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring!